The United States didn't heal after the Civil War. It collapsed slowly, bleeding from a wound that was never closed. Because in this timeline, slavery never ended. By the time the Civil War reached its breaking point, America was already fragile. Its economy was split in two. Its politics were poisoned by fear. Its people no longer trusted the future or each other. The war wasn't just about territory. It was about power, about who controlled labor, about whether the United States would become a modern nation or remain chained to an empire built on human ownership. And everything depended on one decision, one moment where history could still turn back. In our timeline, slavery ends. But in this one, it doesn't. The war drags on. Casualties climb. Northern cities riot under war taxes and conscription. Southern leaders realize something terrifyingly simple. They don't need to win outright. They just need the North to break first. So abolition is removed from the war's goals. A desperate compromise emerges. Slavery is preserved temporarily, they say, in exchange for peace. That temporary decision becomes permanent, and the Civil War never truly ends. The ceasefire is announced. Not victory, not unity, just exhaustion. The Union survives on paper, but morally, it's shattered. Millions remain enslaved. Former soldiers return home asking a brutal question. What did we actually fight for? Abolitionists feel betrayed. Southern elites feel empowered. And Washington loses control of the narrative. States begin defying federal authority openly. Local militias form, not for defense, but enforcement. The war economy doesn't shut down. It mutates. America becomes a nation permanently preparing for the next internal conflict. Peace doesn't stabilize the economy. It destroys it. Slavery poisons the American economy from the inside. Industrial nations modernize. America stagnates. Free labor can't compete with slave labor. Innovation slows. Foreign investors pull out. Britain and France distance themselves. Trade agreements collapse. The dollar weakens. Politically, the country fractures into factions that no longer believe in compromise. One side wants abolition now. Another wants expansion of slavery into new territories. A third wants total secession. Congress becomes dysfunctional. Elections turn violent. Federal authority is openly challenged. The United States doesn't look like a rising power anymore. It looks like a failing empire. And then the violence goes international. Britain sees opportunity. France smells weakness. They don't invade. They don't need to. They manipulate. They fund factions. They pressure ports. They isolate the American economy. The U.S. Navy deteriorates. The Army is stretched thin, constantly deployed internally. Civil unrest becomes normalized. Cities burn. Rural areas militarize. Slavery, once defended as necessary, becomes a permanent justification for repression. To maintain control, the federal government expands surveillance, suspends rights, uses military force against its own citizens. America doesn't become a beacon of freedom. It becomes a warning. The world moves on without the United States. Britain dominates global trade. France expands influence overseas. New industrial powers rise. And America becomes a divided continent-sized problem. A nation rich in resources, but incapable of unity. Internationally isolated. Internally unstable. Constantly on the edge of another civil war. Slavery doesn't just survive. It reshapes global perceptions of democracy. The American experiment loses credibility. This wasn't inevitable. The Civil War wasn't just a fight over land or power. It was a fight over the future of humanity inside a nation. Ending slavery didn't just free people. It saved the United States from permanent collapse. Because a country that owns human beings can never truly own its future. History didn't guarantee survival. It offered a choice. And America was one decision away from becoming this timeline. So here's the question. If slavery had survived, would the United States still exist as one nation today? Or would it have destroyed itself entirely? I'm curious where you think that line would have finally snapped.